And we are live. We are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and probably whatever the flavor of the week is. I can't keep up with all these trends. Welcome to Table Talk. I am Mo Lightning. To my left is the lovely Lindsay with an E.
That's me.
Beautiful. And underneath us, but well above us, spiritually, emotionally, professionally, financially, is the lovely Devon with an E.
Hello. Yes, with an E, brother.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking wrestling. If we're talking wrestling, then it's just the V.
Yeah, and then sometimes you got the dash, sometimes you don't got the dash.
I just thought you didn't know how to spell your name. It's fine.
No, I did, but then my mother had to correct me once I got into the business. And
Gotcha.
You don't want to tell your mother that your name is Devon and not Devon. She gets a little angry when you say Devon. Devin, I get angry.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
Good to know.
Unless you're APA and you're Ron and John, then you can say whatever the hell you want to say.
What's going on? Loyalty JT TV. How you doing, man?
What's going on, buddy?
You'll notice that there's like a little gap. There's like space on the screen that we should be filling, but unfortunately, Sarah, somewhere else in her family, welcomed an addition. So, family first.
Of course, I guess.
Yeah, congratulations, Sarah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she'll be on next week, and then after that, we have Xavier Woods, and then we got a Kofi probably following after that, and we might even try to reach out to the Godfather and try to get him on the show and going. So that should be very, very good in terms of trying to get that going. So
the Godfather and Devon, I'm sure, on the same podcast will be full of fun stories.
Listen, stories and all of that good stuff. It's like reliving the Attitude Era all over again with the Godfather.
So some of the show is going to be off the cuff, or at least a little bit more than usual, because we planned on half the show with Sarah Logan, Sarah Rowe being a part of it. So Devon, you're just going to have to talk for another half an hour.
You know what? I don't think that's a hard task. I'm going to try, but again, I don't think it's going to be a hard task because Lord knows I have a lot of things to say. And remember, when we started doing this in the very beginning, I had a lot to say. So I still have a lot to say with a lot of things that are going on in the world today.
Well, how about a Q&A with Devon then, at least real quick. He says he's got a question for you, so we'll let him type that up and submit it to you. But everybody doing all right? Everybody feeling okay? I know Lindsay has the Rona. So
no, I don't have the Rona. I just had a tickle in my throat. I started to cough. I freaked out. It went away. I don't have it. I don't think.
We've been giving Devon grief about doing the test on video. Why don't you do that?
I would, but I don't have it, so I don't have to get tested. It's fine.
No. It's always safe to make sure.
Yeah.
If you don't have it. So I think, Lindsay, you should go get tested. Hell, I'll pay for it. I just want you to capture it on video.
Okay. If you pay for it, fine. We'll do whatever within reason.
Good. Well, I can honestly say I don't have it. We had WWE tapings this week, and I will say it's been a rather tiring, I should say, but yet successful few days. Friday, we did the taping of SmackDown this past Friday, and we did that and aired that on the air, of course, that Friday night. Then we had off, and on that Saturday, then of course we come right back to the pay-per-view, which is Extreme Rules, and I was very, very happy with that pay-per-view. I think everyone on the show hit a home run, did an excellent job, worked their behinds off. And again, it is trying times right now. Life as we know it is no longer. So to actually be able to put on a wrestling show and be able to put on that show and not be able to have an audience and to listen to, it's hard. It really is hard, especially when you're trying to get all hyped up and ready to go. But these guys were able to do that and be very successful. One of the greatest things about my night there was I had the tag team match with Cesaro, Nakamura, and the New Day.
One of the matches of the night, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And, in speaking to those guys, I wanted to take a little bit out of the page book of what we did with the Hardys at the Royal Rumble in 2000. And boy, oh boy, did they deliver. I could not have been happy. And I told Cesaro at the end of it, I said, every time I work with the New Day, Cesaro, and Nakamura, you guys saved my job for another week because it's so damn good. And then right after that, then of course the pay-per-view with the rest of the matches did excellent. And then Monday we did Monday Night Raw. And then of course that yesterday we did SmackDown. So very, very, very excited for this Friday SmackDown, and of course the following Friday, and then the 2 weeks of Monday Night Raw.
I gotta say, one thing I'm impressed with yourself and the superstars and wrestlers in general is how well you can remember these moments. You're talking about taking a page out of Royal Rumble 2000, like. You can remember these dates and matches probably a lot better than I can.
Well, the fans, actually, they're the ones that actually help me to remember. I've always said the fans have been great to me and Bubba and the rest of the WWE superstars, where they'll let you know when things are good, but they'll also let you know when things are bad. And they don't pull any punches, which I wouldn't expect them to. Don't be disrespectful about it, guys, but I don't expect you to pull any punches, even when we mess up or do something wrong. It just keeps us on our A game. But for the most part, it is difficult to remember all of these times and dates and things like that. But again, the great thing about social media is that when the fans do remember and they find it on YouTube or however they find it, they will put it on my Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter. And it reminds me of just how great the WWE was back then, and on its way of being great again with the new generation.
Yeah, I try to remember. I had a good run working Comic-Con on the road full time 4 or 5 years, and it's hard to remember some of those dates and some of those locations. I'm sure, Lindsay, you probably feel the same way.
I've been doing, I think, since 2015, and I know I met somebody at some point. I couldn't tell you when it was, what city I was in. I don't know how you keep up with just life. I don't know.
Well, Lindsay, I remember when I met you, and so you were waiting for me downstairs.
Yeah, I called you Devin.
You and Rachel. Yeah, you did. And I was just like, Devon. So I took an extra 10 minutes in my hotel room before I came back downstairs.
I'm texting. Oh my gosh, she's late.
Yeah, she said.
I don't know why.
He's not coming. But hold on. Here it is. I'm worried that I was late, but I wasn't nearly as late as Kevin Nash.
That is true.
I came downstairs. He was downstairs already, so I thought I was waiting. I thought everybody's waiting on me. All of a sudden, he goes, "Okay, brother, I'll be back down. I'm going to go upstairs and get ready and come back." I went, "Oh, wow."
He was just finishing breakfast.
I thought he was just taking a sweet-ass time because of his bad knees, I mean.
Oh, shucks. No, let me tell you something. With that E-stim thing that they're doing right now, I know he has done the surgeries and with his neck and his knees. And, he told me, we talked about it, and he goes, "Devon, you should really get it done if you're having problems." And I said, "Kevin, I am having problems. I just don't show it. I've been dealing with this pain in my body for so long, with all the abuse that I've been taking over the years, that it just becomes natural. It's no different than getting up out of bed, you a little tweak in your knee or your toe, and then all of a sudden it goes away after a while. The pain don't go away. I just learned to live with it."
And now we have pain in our ears every single Wednesday here on Table Talk. So we got the questions from the gentleman that we mentioned earlier, 2 of them actually. First of all, how was it back in the Northeast promotions? What were your favorite matches in the early 90s? And who was Latin Lover? And what did you guys learn from each other? Seems like more than 2 questions.
Yeah, I think it was like 3. What was the first one again? I'll answer that.
How was it back in the Northeast promotions?
Back when I was an indie wrestler, it was good. It was fun. It was exciting. I was young, 23, naive, like you wouldn't
Innocent.
believe.
Sure.
Very innocent. Well,
Virginal.
hold on. Hold on. Well, I wouldn't go that far. By that time, I already had my twins, so I was working on baby number 3. But
How did they get here?
Yeah, how did they get there? The stork brought them. No, but it was full of life back then. The business was full of life. The business, you had a lot of the Andre and Hogan guys, Hogan and Andre era that were on those shows. And, I was like a kid in the candy store. You talk about marking out. Here it is, all those guys from the Hogan and Andre era that I grew up watching and idolizing. Now, all of a sudden, I break into the business and I'm doing the independent shows. And some of them are on the shows. I met Hercules. I met Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Jim Powers, Paul Roma, so many other guys, Hillbilly Jim, so many guys, Jimmy Snooker. It was just so many guys. Nikolai Volkov. Listen, I can go on and on, all the guys that I've met over the years, but it was like a kid in a candy store. I enjoyed it so much and, loved it. So anytime we had to do promotionals up north, it was great. I loved it. Plus, me being from New York was excellent.
You have any favorite matches from that era? Anything that really stands out to you?
In terms of my matches, my matches, I'm going to say, and I think somebody had asked me this not too long ago on The Bump, because I was on WWE's The Bump. And I think I'm going to have to say it probably was the match in Detroit where me and Bubba put Balls Mahoney through a flaming thumbtack table. And the crowd was unreal.
Wow.
When, it was funny because, I remember Balls and Axel setting up the table. We got rid of Axel. As we get rid of Axel, they bump me to the floor. As they bump me to the floor, now it's Bubba and Balls Mahoney in the ring. As that happens, Balls sets up the table. He actually starts to put the thumbtacks on the table. He puts some of the lighter fluid on the table to light it up. He's got the lighter. He's about to light it, and then all of a sudden, here I come with a steel chair, bang, right in the back. He drops Bubba. He drops the lighter. So I pick that up. Bubba picks up the lighter fluid, and we start dousing the table with more gasoline and all that. When the time was right, I lit that sumbitch on fire. We picked up Balls Mahoney and threw him right through the table. When I tell you, it was like being in Madison Square Garden with 18,000 people. Because here's the deal. Terry Funk and Cactus Jack had did this in Japan numerous times. It was almost like you had to watch back then. It was like underground wrestling, but it had been done, but it hadn't been done here in the U.S. So when we did it and the fans saw it, brother, you would have thought that freaking the night that Hogan slammed Andre in the Pontiac Silverdome, when that crowd went wild, that's exactly what it felt like. The people in Chicago went crazy. They lost their minds. And so that's the one that really stands out to me the most in terms of the match of the 90s for us.
Okay.
So many other the matches in the 90s from, say, WWE era, which had to be Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania in Toronto, WrestleMania 6. I think that stood out for me as a match from another company, which I wasn't involved in, but that's the one that stands out to me. The build-up between Hogan and Ultimate Warrior was so good. And, champion versus champion, Toronto sold out. And, hey, one of my future co-workers at the time was in the audience waving, jumping up and down for Hogan, who was Edge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, it's great. Here it is, potential superstars watching WrestleMania go down with Hogan and Warrior. Meanwhile, two guys that helped steal the show at WrestleMania back to back, 16 and 17, are watching in awe.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now I laugh because of this comment here from John. Just curious, Devon, when you broke into the business, was it a Stegosaurus or a Triceratops you took from town to town?
Yes, I like him.
Just kidding, saying you are a living legend, sir. Thank you for all the great moments.
Well, thank you, John. I'm not sure quite what that means. Apparently, you and Lindsay get it, but it's over my head. Too many
You're
chair
old.
shots.
You're
Means you're old.
No, like I said, I don't get what he's saying.
What? What? Huh? I
Exactly.
don't
Is it
hear
a
you, John.
T-Rex?
What?
John, what are you saying?
Where's your miracle
Old?
ear?
You know
Oh,
what?
that
My
necklace. That's one of those things that you press the button when you fall.
Life alert.
Yeah.
Life-
No.
I've fallen,
Okay,
I
hold
can't
on.
get up.
Life Alert does not look as good as this. Okay.
You got a
You
This
fancy.
is
have
the
it
real
spray
deal.
painted.
Devon, it's fancy Life Alert. Yeah.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. Living legend. Some people still, look at us as being legends or whatever in the business, and I don't. I still feel like I'm the kid that just broke into the business and just wanting to do something that he saw on TV so passionately. When people say, "Oh, you're a living legend," thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart because it feels good when people say that. But again, I don't look at myself like that. I'm just a guy that puts on his shoes and clothes the same way everybody else does, and not to mention watch something that was so dear to me at the time growing up and just wanting to be just like them. I think I will always be that little kid. I look at tapes and videos from back in the day during the Hogan and Andre, Flair and Dusty era, and I mark out all the time. People like to make fun of people who are marks in the business, and I'm like, listen, we're all marks. We're all like that because that's why we're in the business. We're in the business because it's something that we watched and loved and idolized and wanted to be just like them. So for people to say that I'm a mark, thank you, because I really do love what I do. I really do love what I did. And I want to continue to make history by helping those who have watched me now be able to be in that status of being legendary.
Absolutely. Now, talking about like ECW and old school days and whatnot, I haven't talked to you about the reaction. So I was telling Lindsay before you joined, before the show started, is that I've been wanting to get you a cameo for a while. I wanted to find another star to get a cameo for you. First, I looked for Lizzo, but she's not on that service.
Oh God!
And even then, if she was, odds are way too much for me. So
Hey,
that's okay.
can I
I
borrow your
would've
credit
paid
card real
for
quick?
it.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I want to find somebody that knows Devon, that maybe doesn't work with him as much as they used to. So for anybody not aware, if you don't follow @Wrestling Audio on the socials, I got the quintessential stud muffin, Joel Gertner, to do a 4-minute cameo for Devon. Devon, what was your reaction to that?
Well. That's all I can say. Joel Gertner has been up and down the highways with me, and we shared a lot of things together. And if he's watching right now, he knows what I mean. Like dinner.
Oh,
do you want to elaborate?
Dessert?
Not really. Not in this day and time. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because anything you say now on social media comes back to bite you in the ass and the folds. So,
you can always delete it.
Yeah, you could, but not when we're live. But me and Joel had a great time, man. He helped. He was like one of the greatest ring announcers next to Howard Finkel during that time, and he was so entertaining. And he knew how to make you laugh. There were times where he would go to tell us what he was going to say, and me and Bubba would be like, "Don't tell us. We just want to be surprised."
Yeah.
And sure enough, when we were surprised, it made us just crack up in the ring. We're supposed to be these big, bad Dudley boys, kick-ass type of guys. Meanwhile, we're cracking up in the ring trying to hide it. My hand is going in front of my face like this, trying to hide the people from seeing me laugh. I mean, it was great. When he would say, well, it is I, the quintessential stud muffin, Joel. I'm like a Rubik's Cube. The more you play with it, the harder I get, Gertner. It was great. And, he would say, yeah, Lindsay, you need to go back and go on YouTube and watch Joel Gertner's entrance of the Dudley Boys. There's a whole package of Joel Gertner. Yo, you would drink it. Trust me.
Yeah. I think I watched a 9-minute clip of Joel Gertner's best entrances.
No,
that's the one. That's it.
Yeah. And I'll warn you now, Lindsay, it's
Everything.
dirty. It's dirty,
Okay.
Lindsay. It's
Bring it on.
really dirty. But he was good like that. So the minute when you sent me the video and I'm looking, I thought maybe you had gotten it for yourself or somebody else. But when he said about Devon, I went, oh God, here we go. I was like, I'm gonna kill him and Joe.
I requested it because I'm like, you know what? Maybe something to help get some attention to Table Talk. Somebody that knows Devon that can roast him better than I can or than Lindsay can. And I love how he threw me in there like I was requesting. I won't spoil it, but he kept throwing my name in there for requesting a very specific something. And I guess Devon will never know if that's true or not.
Let me watch it.
Well, I'll know because I'll threaten Gertner when I see him.
Okay. All right. Let's just say Joel Gertner decides to take us down memory lane in Devon's former love life. We'll just say that.
Ooh, man, did he ever?
Yeah.
I got nervous. I started sweating. I went, ooh, maybe divorce number 5. I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good God, Joe, stop talking.
Yeah, I did have some of my friends watch it, and they're like, "Is Devon going to be mad about that?" I'm like,
maybe.
I'll find out, I guess.
Here's the deal. I get a text message from Mo. I'm in the middle of the meeting, and it's Vince and Bruce Pritchard, all of us, all the producers, all the writers, we're all in there. And I get this text message, hey, Devon, listen, I just want to let you know I did a cameo. I hope you're not going to be upset. And I went, what? And he was like, and I'm like, why would I be upset if you did a cameo? But then I had to read it again because I'm sitting up there looking at the phone, looking at Vince, looking at the phone. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, wait a minute. He's talking about he had somebody set me up to do a cameo. What the hell? And when I remember reading the name Joel Gertner, I went, here we go. Because I know Joe ain't gonna pull no punches.
No, but he was actually less vulgar than I expected him to be. To be honest with you, in this video.
Well, I think people are still trying to feel out cameo because when I see some of this stuff, I don't see any profanity much or anything that like say if anybody use like Motley Crue, the rock group, and I'm sure there's stories that they can probably say about fans or what have you, and they don't. I think people are still trying to feel out how far you can go on cameo, and I think that's why Joel didn't go too far, because if he did, I'd probably be in the dirt sheet right now.
Well, I mean that happens, but I was just curious. You texted back laughing your ass off, but I hadn't had a chance to actually talk to you about this. But Mark's got a question about hardcore wrestling and whatnot. Do you train to be hardcore, or is that something that you just learn as talent matures? Just kind of curious how you wrestlers get into the hardcore.
I think he was born with it.
I was, but I didn't know about it until. But you learn as you go on. No one knows how to really swing a chair. Nobody knows how to really put somebody through a table, really. You just go along with it. As many of the matches of those that you have, you learn very quickly on how to do it. And here's the deal. If I was in WWE and I would have had my first hardcore bout, I don't think that I would have learned how to really do it, because you don't really do the hardcore stuff. Hello, doggy. You don't. At least he's not barking. Really. Yeah.
You're gonna have the dog on screen. Give us the full view, Lindsay. Come on.
Come here.
Yeah.
Come here. Here it comes. Oh, he's got his bandana on. Hi, good boy. He's a good boy. All right, good boy.
Yeah. No, but you really just don't. You really don't know. You really don't know in terms of that. So it was basically all the years of doing it in ECW. So by the time I got to WWE, it was like kind of being a pro at it.
Okay. All right.
And you learned along the way. You had Tommy Dreamer, you had Sabu, you had the Pit Bulls, you had Shane Douglas. They were all instrumental in helping us young guys at the time learning how to do all of that. Because those guys basically they knew how to do all of that. Especially guys like Bam Bam, Shane Douglas, Sabu, who went to Japan numerous times and did matches like that. So whenever there was an issue or a problem, where we had to learn how to do certain things, Sabu and them would always be the one that would kind of help us out along the way. And again, I think that's why Dreamer and the Dudleys are so close, is because Dreamer was there for us to help us out during those times. Dreamer knew all that stuff and how to do it. He knew how to be creative, innovative. That's why he was called the Innovator of Violence. He knew all of that stuff. And so he basically taught us along the way. So by the time we got to WWE, it was like in our back pocket. We knew. And we always said when we got to WWE, Vince didn't let us be the Dudleys when the Dudleys of the last year in ECW. He wanted to bring back the Dudleys where Bubba was stuttering, doing things like that. And so with that being said, we had to go back to those days. And I know the fans who knew us from ECW knew that we were past that and didn't think that it was appropriate for us to do that. But then long and behold, they wanted us to put Terry Reynolds through a table because she was the first victim. And when we did that, it was like music to our ears. We told Vince. Vince said to us, and this was in Philadelphia, he says, I got it. We don't want Bubba to stutter anymore. And we're gonna turn the Dudleys heel. And I said, okay, how are we gonna do this? We're gonna put Terry Reynolds through a table. You know, they're with the Hardys. You guys had this incredible tables match at Madison Square Garden, you know, at the Royal Rumble. So we're going to actually put Terry through the table, and that's going to really make you guys heels. And I remember me and Bubba looked at each other, and we just went, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to become heels. We're going to become baby faces, because here's why. If you think about it, if you take a female at this time and age during the mid-90s and you put her through a table in Philadelphia, they're not gonna boo us. They're gonna cheer the hell out of us. he just went, no, you guys are gonna be baby faces. I'm sorry, heels. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. And sure enough, we went out there and put Terry through that table, and the crowd lost their mind. The crowd lost their mind even more when we took an 80-year-old woman, hopped her up on Bubba's shoulders, and threw her behind through the table. That is when I realized that society was sick. When those people jumped up and down and started cheering when Mae Young went through the table, I realized that this is not the same America with the apple pie and grandmas and all that. It was a different society.
Yeah. Now would the crowd cheer if you put Lindsay through a table, or would they boo? What do you think?
They would actually cheer it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Lindsay, this has nothing to do with you, but they haven't seen anything like that in so long that they would probably love for us to put you through a table. Let's do it. Let's do it. But you can't practice it first.
Now John did say that the offer of the $1 still stands for you to put me through a table. So.
John, I like your way of thinking. I like your way of thinking. I think when the coronavirus is over and we do, find a cure or whatever for it, I think I might have to do that, but I might have to charge you $3 because I waited so long to do it. So the anticipation is killing me to put Mo through a table. Yeah. And then, and listen, it's $100 to put Lindsay through. So it ain't that much.
Come on, get $100?
Oh no, I get it.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a 0.5% of it.
Wow.
0.5%? Okay.
That's so kind of him right there. So kind of him. Now, if you're just tuning in, unfortunately, Sarah Rowe could not join us. We found out right before we went live. We're going to get her on in a future show. But if you have questions for any of us, feel free to drop them. I could actually probably help Devon on this one. Brian wants to know if there's any way Devon could pull some strings, come out of retirement, Dudleys versus the Viking Raiders. I'll tell you right now, Devon says he's retired.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Yes, listen, I've been a producer now going on 4 years, and the way my body has healed, it's incredible. I feel great. I still got the aches and pains here and there getting out of bed. I deal with it. But for the most part, my body is somewhat healed. Me taking bumps again and doing stuff like that, I don't think I could do it. Yeah, no. The only way, and I've even said this to Vince and the creative, my twin boys, Terrence and Terrell, if they, when they get up here and they start doing what they're doing NXT or, on the main roster, That's the only way I'd try to make an entrance and coming back.
That's pretty cool.
I would like to do it with them. I think, listen, don't get me wrong. I appreciate everything that Bubba and I have done. I love it. But I just feel like Bubba felt some years ago in 2016. I think the Dudley Boys run is over. And although I know people are sad to hear that, they want us to continue to do what we're doing. Everything has an expiration date. And I feel that everything needs to stop in terms of that and move on to something, bigger and a new chapter in life. So with that being said, we can always look back at what Bubba and I did and enjoy that. But as far as him and I getting back together, I think the Dudley Boys did that in 2015 going into 16. I think that was the last run for the Dudley Boys.
And reading between the lines there, Brian, just give it a couple of years. Devon will be back.
I have no doubt.
Only if Terrence and Terrell are in there.
No, that's good. And I'm glad that you're feeling better too. I mean, I've said this before many times. I can't even imagine what you guys go through on the road, beating yourself up for a living all the time. So I'm happy to hear that you're getting better and you're going to continue, right? You're going to continue getting the work done, and you're going to be a whole new you here soon.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I am. I'm going to be a robot. I actually, because I was actually talking to my boys and some of the other producers. I said, Vince provides us in terms of the producers and, workers with tremendous health care and things like that. Yeah. So it's like, why not take advantage and get everything looked at now? So I got my knees looked at. I'm about to get them. I had an x-ray on just about every part of my body that was aching. Now I'm on the way. Yep, my booty.
Booty butt.
Yep, got an MRI tomorrow on the knees, and things like that. So I'm getting everything looked at now and seeing what type of damage we have, because I've never had any of the stuff done in my 28-year career. I just dealt with the pain and moved on. I can only imagine how much scar tissue is probably in my body right now where I hurt. But the thing about it is I'm getting it done now, and I'm not waiting until the end. So, tomorrow will be the first step in getting my body, good again.
That's awesome. We'll do one more wrestling question here, and then we got some other things we're going to talk about here. But Jared wants to know, being in the era of the greatest tag teams, late 90s Attitude Era, what were some of the ideas that you guys made come to life, that you guys made to stay on top?
I think some of the things that we did, again, introducing the table match that we did at the Royal Rumble with the Hardy Boys. I think that was one. Helping to do the TLC matches, which are legendary to this day. And just the badass, kick-ass of the Dudley Boys, what we've done over the years. That has been always the thing that me and Bubba love to do. We love to be able to reinvent ourselves when need be. And we did that. I think that's why we were so relevant over the years and we never got stale. It was something that we both take pride in. And we look back, when you look back and see how fortunate we were to be on top every single time and in every single company. So again, kudos to us for being able to do that, to reinvent ourselves, even when we separated and we did our own thing. I had, and to this day, I still say that the Reverend Devon character could have been done so much more than what it was. I mean, listen, I faced John Cena, Randy Orton, Rikishi, Farouk, did it all back then with Reverend Devon, and I beat him. And one of the biggest ones I went over on was Triple H. I don't know if I should say that out loud because, I'm still working for the company. And then Triple H can always
lost you, Devon. Where did he go? What happened? Devon's been canceled.
Listen, Reverend Devon got a victory over Triple H, so I'm very happy about that. But that's one of the things about the Reverend Devon character that was so good, because we were able to take that character and do a lot of promo segments with Mr. McMahon, and it was successful. So where it went wrong, I know exactly what happened. to a certain degree. Certain powers to be, which is what I said, didn't see it that way and felt different about it. And that's okay. But the love that I had been getting, I wouldn't say easily, the love, the love that the love that the fans had and things like that for that character, they still show love today and tell me that character should have been put on the grand scale of things, instead of being shortchanged the way it was. There is something that's something that bothers me a little bit, and about that, because I know how far we could have gone with that and how good it was. I remember The Rock and we were in a car leaving the gym. I took a ride with him because his car was like, he was ready to pretty much leave the gym and go back to the hotel. And I remember him telling me that he basically had told Vince that he wanted to work with me in a singles thing with the Reverend Devon character. And I said, oh, really? I mean, I was excited. I was like, oh, man, this is great. And he says, yeah, he was like, but Vince said that he wanted to hold off on it because he had other plans. And so I was like, all right. I was like, well, Rock, whenever you get a chance, and if you can, please, by all means, let's make this happen. It never happened, but, hey, it's okay.
Wait. The Rock wanted to work with you. Are you sure? Like The Rock, like the Dwayne Johnson Rock, or is this something you found outside on the road?
No, it was The Rock. He actually, he said he liked the character and where it was going, and said he wanted to kind of help me out. He said he actually thought that the Reverend Devon character had life to it, and he really dug the promos that me and Vince were doing. And him and I worked together before, so it wasn't like he didn't know how I worked in the ring. But I remember him saying that, and it never happened. So I don't know if it would have happened, it probably would have taken on a new life. I don't know, but it would have been interesting to see what would have. But again, it's over, and I just don't think.
I have an idea.
It could happen.
I have an idea. Okay.
Oh boy.
Stick with me. Okay. TikTok. Yeah. TikTok. Reverend Devon, 60-second videos on TikTok. Put your Venmo up on your profile. Have people donate to the Reverend Devon.
The Reverend Devon Building Fund. Lindsay,
but you would have so many followers. You can bring this character back to life, and then when this whole thing is over, you're back. You're back in the spotlight. I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. Just saying. No, not back in the spotlight.
No, TikTok spotlight.
Oh, TikTok.
Yeah. YouTube
That's
videos.
Interesting.
You can get your friends to come over. You're the Reverend. You're trying to convert them. Listen. Donate.
I think I should have had Lindsay as my booker back in the day.
Right.
With some wine, very, very successful.
What if The Rock said, you know what? I'm gonna come back. I need a match. Devon, I need you out of retirement, man. You and me, 1-on-1, Reverend Devon versus The Rock.
Oh, no, man. I don't think I can bump and do all those things I used to do anymore. Again, when you've been off for as long as I have, and I know 4 years is not really a long time, I'm shedding tears every day.
You could work the crowd, though.
Yeah, I just don't think I can do it anymore.
I think you could. No, but work the crowd.
Work the crowd, probably, yes, but in terms of the bumping and the feeding and all of that, I don't think I can. I think I'd have to have a love and a hunger for it. It would have been good to be able to see if that would have taken place, if Rock could have been able to pull that off. Don't get me wrong, Rock was very powerful back then, and I think whatever was said to him at that time, exactly, I think that was probably something that they pretty much said, no, I think, maybe it'll happen, but we want to put you in a different direction. And, that's what happened. So it is what it is, and I'm okay. I learned to let it go. Listen, 23 years of successful matches with Bubba and doing what we're doing. Can't deny it.
Now, what about having the Reverend Devon crossover into movies? Like Fast 9, Hobbs and Shaw 2. Where the hell are you?
You get your second break on TikTok.
Listen, I would love to do that, but here's the deal. If Ronda Rousey keeps doing what she's doing, we can actually do that.
Okay. Just remember me when you're famous.
Now, do you
Remember me.
trust TikTok? I know a lot of people don't trust TikTok. That's a
True.
big controversy that, even some countries banning TikTok because, it supplies info to the Russians or the aliens or something. I don't know.
You know what? I don't know what the hell's going on. This world is crazy. People thinking that if you use TikTok, it's a way for them to spy on you and things like that. I look at it this way. If you're filming it, once you release it, that's it. How can they go into your server or anything else? I don't know. Maybe I don't know that much about technology because I'm just learning how to send emails.
I was gonna say you don't know a lot.
Yeah, I don't know a lot at all.
You're just learning.
Amazon now, baby.
Amazon Prime. Tell us about it.
Oh man, let me tell you something.
Amazon.
I was so anti social media, so anti emails and everything. I just learned how to do emails and stuff like that when I came back to WWE for the second run, and then going into as a producer, because everything is done by emails and stuff like that. So I had to learn real quick, and then I got really excited. I was like a kid in a candy store. I created an Amazon account where I was able to buy things online. I was so happy when I pushed that send button and it said successful. I was like, yes. And I was like very, very happy.
Man, I wish I had like a sound effect to cue up right now. The heavens calling down upon Diva.
Oh,
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Here, I'll send you my wish list since you understand Amazon now, and you can just every week send me something off my wish list.
yes, please.
My house pretty. I can finally get that Nintendo Switch you've promised me.
As long as you review it on the show. As long as
I'll review it.
Reviews,
Absolutely. Sure.
Well, listen, as long as
verified review.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. When this pandemic is over, I'm going to get you 3 or 4 of those Nintendo things.
When's it going to be over?
That's what we all are wondering.
I know.
At this point, yeah. He owes you
2020 is canceled, that's for sure.
No.
2020 is definitely over. No question about that. In my opinion, I think everything will start to resume back in the new year, because you got to think about it. The NFL just canceled their preseason games, so now we're moving forward into the regular season. But
you think that'll be canceled too?
It might be. You never know if they cancel the preseason. That's a possibility.
Well, the players had asked for the preseason to be canceled for the sake of safety and precautions. The less that they have to be together around other people it was their mentality, because I believe up to this weekend they've had 56 positive cases in the NFL.
Oh wow.
Now, do you know if they started with a little like itch in their throat?
Oh,
it's like a little itchy throat. Is that how it started? I'm just curious.
I think so. I think so.
Dang it.
Everybody should probably say their goodbyes to Lindsay right now.
Do I have coronavirus?
Yeah.
Do I have it?
Listen, if you got an itchy, I'm not going to go there. So not going to go there.
I don't even want to know.
Get your butt disease, IBD.
Oh, Lindsay, oh boy. It's like throw that softball up and
I mean, I do what I can. I try to, do it for the people.
Lob it.
Everybody laughs. Okay, you got it.
Pop that ball up right in the air. I'll be able to catch it, and yep, there you go.
Now, one of the things we wanted to do here on Table Talk is implement more segments and stuff, more week-to-week stuff, and not just the wrestlers, but to getting to know us, Lindsay and Diva.
I know people are interested in me. I know it.
Yeah, this is where Lindsay gets a chance to shine. Something that we promised last week. Unpopular opinion. Unpopular
What's
opinion.
Today?
And I said I would start. I said I would volunteer. And as I discovered earlier before the show started, I'm the only one here that likes pineapple on pizza. I'm all for it. All for it.
Why?
Nope.
Why? What happens to your taste buds that makes it good?
What they do.
No, that's disgusting.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I love but there's people out there that love that. It's like, they love it. Here's the deal. I love pineapples. I love it. I love plantains and all that. I love it, but I don't like it on my hot food. I want to eat it
Oh, I do.
separate.
So good. The extra
Mm.
juice with the pizza and everything. You get it with like a pork or a sausage or a ham. It
What?
really, like the flavor explodes.
No.
You're giving Lindsay nightmares right now.
Mm.
Have you
I
ever
don't feel so
tried it?
right.
Have either of you tried it?
I have.
No, I can't say I have. I can't say I have.
Okay. All
And
right.
you know what? Because sometimes here in the house, somebody, they love to get pizza, some of the boys, and they'll put pineapple on it. And I'm just like, no, I'll take the other slice.
Like
I'll
taking
take
it off.
I'll take the other one, and I won't try it. So here's the deal. Next time we do it, I will let you know, and I'll let you know how I feel, because I've never tasted it on pizza. You
I'm not
might be
spending
right.
money to order pineapple on my pizza.
No, but if somebody, Lindsay, you got to put it this way: if somebody that's going to get,
I don't know anybody.
Pineapple,
Mm-mm.
Those
aren't my people.
It might be a work. You never know.
Oh, we lost Lindsay.
Oh gosh.
How did that
Oh, I'm
happen?
back on. Oh, I should put this up.
Okay. All right. So are either of you, do you consider yourselves picky eaters? And I want to start with Wino there all the way to the left. I want to are you a picky eater? Do you think like
I'm not. How
do you not
I'll
like it?
try
To me, you can't be a foodie. You can't even consider yourself a
No.
foodie if you don't like pineapple on pizza.
I have tried it. I have tasted it, and it was not for me. I also have tried mango salsa.
So you have had it.
Yes, I will give it
Oh.
a shot. Not crickets, not spiders. I won't eat gross things, but like, hey, that is not my name. Listen, everybody who does not like pineapple on their pizza, let me know. I'm not the only one. I can't be. That's ridiculous. Anybody?
Let me go
Anybody?
let me go get you some pizza.
Anybody?
Lindsay. I'll be right back.
No. If you
Brian?
don't like pineapple on your pizza, please at me.
Yeah.
It's the only time I'll ever ask you to at me.
Look at that. So good that John longer wants
you
to go to a table. He's no longer offering you that $1, Devon.
Oh no, he'll offer it to me. He still wants to see you go to a table.
Oh, you
Pineapple.
disappointed me.
Pineapple. Yeah. That's what we're talking
Anybody else? No.
Well, I tell
Maybe
you
later.
what. I tell you one thing. I will try that, but the one thing I won't try on pizza is anchovies.
Okay.
That I will not try.
That's fair. That's reasonable. If the Ninja Turtles won't put anchovies on a pizza, neither should we. That's fine.
See, that's a good rule to live by.
Nope.
What about
Power
hair?
Rangers.
Hair?
You've eaten a piece of pizza that had hair on it, right? No? Or that's just what you sent to me? Didn't we talk about that?
As long as it tastes good, I don't care.
Oh my God. You guys are disgusting.
No, that is well, what do you mean, you guys? Say yes.
Both y'all. Hey, wait.
Yeah.
Both y'all.
I didn't say
there.
I didn't say yes. No. No.
Both of you.
Okay.
Well, I mean, look, to each his own. I look at it, and certain taste buds for certain people. You just never know.
Together, oh, it's so good. So good.
No.
It's like salted.
Like I said,
do you like salted caramel stuff, Lindsay?
I don't like kettle corn. I don't like chocolate covered pretzels. I don't like the sweet and savory together.
Oh, I just started liking chocolate covered pretzels, so I don't mind that at all. I'm good with that. I'm good. I can do that.
What's that, Lindsay? Her audio went out. I don't know what happened, Devon.
Your audio went out. I thought it was me at first.
No,
I was having issues.
No, I think it's something on her end there. I don't know what's going on. She doesn't like. Yeah.
Bring me back. Thank you. Hey.
There you go.
Interesting. Oh, we got the audio back. It's funny how that happens.
Now, wait a minute. Are you telling me that? Hold on. I want to go back to something. You said Lizzo is not on Cameo?
No, I didn't find her anywhere. No.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
He's disappointed by that.
He's been thinking about the whole time.
Yeah.
I love me some Lizzo. Love me some Lizzo.
I figured she probably would have been way too much for me anyway. Probably like $200-$300 for like a minute message, but I looked just in case.
Hey, you never know. She might not be as much. I mean, take a look at Floyd Mayweather. What is it? $1,000?
$1,000.
Floyd.
Yeah.
Mayweather. It's I don't know about spending $1,000. Listen, a couple of hundred.
Cheapest celebrity on Cameo.
Devon.
We'll see if anything comes up. Cheapest
see.
memory on
Within-
Cameo. It's
Oh,
still
wait, not
peaking.
Cameo.
Who is
All
it? I'm dying to know.
YouTube videos are coming up. So, list of the cheapest. All right, let's see. All of the lists that are coming up are from 2019. So,
Okay.
So last year. Ugh,
exactly. And so many, like, God, every time you go, there's like another dozen or so stars that have been added. So,
I got to up
Yeah,
my
I have
game
not.
and make it really, really entertaining.
there's apparently a couple YouTube and TikTok stars that charge $1 for a message.
Oh, really? Well, wait a minute.
Oh,
How do you
I think
do
I
that?
follow some.
How do you do that? Like, how would you do the TikTok videos? Like you're leaving a message. I thought that it was kind of like a skit from a movie or something they were getting it from. Unless you
No.
could do your own.
Yeah, it'd probably just do their own. Yeah. Just, if like
Okay.
Lindsay has TikTok, she could probably be on there for
I
$1.
do. I could send you a message for $1 and I'll make like 20 cents.
I tell you what, I'll make you one even better. You make me one, Lindsay, and I'll do one. I'll give you 20.
Okay. A TikTok or a Cameo?
Both.
A TikTok Cameo.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to
TikTok
finish this
Cameo.
bottle of wine first.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah.
And whatever you do, don't let Mo give you any ideas on bringing Joe Gertner into it.
All right. So Mo, what were you saying earlier?
Well, one of the things that I'm happy with is that with all this stuff going on, it seems like America can still find a way to keep active, keep moving, and somewhat normalcy. We're nowhere near regular normalcy like
Right.
like the world once was, but we still find ways of making people laugh and do things. Lord knows these are trying times. It really is, and for us not to go insane and be depressed all the time because of everything that's going on. I'm just happy that everybody can find that happy medium where they can deal with the crisis, but at the same token, be happy the next minute. So, good things. And I hope we do that as a show.
Well, let me ask a question. What's keeping you guys sane? What do you guys like? What's your daily thing that's keeping you positive?
I think me playing with my girls.
Yeah.
I think playing with my girls. I think even getting things done around the house that I normally would not have been able to get done within a timely period because I was always home for a couple of days and then right back on the road again. Keeping myself active in that sense, but not to mention just being able to have more time with my family.
That's
I think
awesome.
that's one of the biggest things for me because, again, being on the road for 28 years and not being able to see, certain birthdays, Christmases, and even, funerals and things of that nature, weddings, it's a relief in a sense. So
For sure.
it has its pros, this pandemic, and it has its cons, but
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I like about, being able to be home and to be able to do all those things.
Yeah, and it's
So-
so important to stay positive. I feel like. What about you, Mo? What's keeping you positive?
Well, there are days. There are days
Yeah,
that
for sure,
not
yeah.
quite so positive. As a guy who has been very vocal and open about my struggles with depression over my life, it's there are days. There are days I wonder that as well. But I think for the most part, we need entertainers right now. And I'm not to a level of stardom or fame that our guest of honor, our co-host of honor, Devon is, or so many of the comedians that are just so quick-witted all the time. I can't offer what so many others offer, but if I can help somebody laugh in the morning on their way to work, or somebody here on their computer, on their phone, watching this right now, especially right now when things suck so bad. If I can help offer a little bit of escapism, then that's what keeps me going. And I think that's why I host so many of these live streams. This is my second live stream of the day today. If we can just help people smile in a time where it's tough to find reasons to smile, then I'll do it. I'll try my best, and maybe I entertain some, maybe I don't, but At least I gave it a shot.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know. You guys both have made me smile so much in the past several months, and I really appreciate it. Well, I mean, what? No. I haven't had that much. I promise.
I mean, collectively over the shows, it's just.
Oh, yeah. Sure. But I mean, a smile's a smile, right?
Yeah.
Who's counting what makes me smile? But for sure, being a part of this podcast, I mean, I'm not even a wrestling person. I'm learning, but to be a part of this and to see this every week and be part of laughs and interviewing these amazing people has just been, for me, so positive, and I look forward to it every week, and I hope everybody does. I really do. If we can make, I don't know, 5 people watching look forward to Wednesdays, I feel like we're doing something. So I don't know. I feel like this is something, right?
Well, one of the greatest things I like to say is that, in terms of table talk, nothing serious, just table talk, and that's it. It's nothing serious. We're just here to have a good time. We just had, and even with, see, I don't like to change the face of the business in terms of, when we talk about wrestling and storylines and things like that. I don't want to get too in depth in storylines. When we have guests on the show, I want to pretty much talk about their upbringing, how they got to where they are, what makes them successful, what makes them going, what gets them, going in the ring and out of the ring and things like that. I don't want to talk about, changing the business or changing the storyline or what can make it better and this and that. I'll leave that to the experts. I don't want to do that. I just want to have fun. I just want to be able to make, laugh and things like that. I think we're doing a great job. I did the New Days podcast last week, and we talked about just silly things and talked about, me coming up in the business and how I helped Xavier along the way and things like that. And we did an hour show like that, and it was so successful that's what I feel that should be on this show. I want to be able to do that. So sure, we could talk about WWE stuff. We could talk about AEW. We could talk about Ring of Honor, Impact. We could talk about them all. That's fine. I'm not looking to change the business. I'm not looking to change their storylines. Hey, listen, did you have a good match? Did you enjoy it? Did the little bit of fans that you had in the audience, did they enjoy it? Did your coworkers come back and tell you they loved it? That's great. Let's move on to the next thing.
Awesome.
I agree. And I think with all that pull and power you have, you should get us on the WWE network so we can share our
positivity. Because I'm the wrestling champion.
Listen, if I couldn't get The Rock to put Reverend Devon in the match, I don't know about the network, but I could try. I mean, hold on. I was talent back then. I don't know. Let's just.
Are you
see
still
what
talented
happens.
now?
No. Nice try, Lindsay. Nice try. Although I did make my appearance back on WWE TV at the pay-per-view with the New Day, which I had so much fun. And wiggling my hips and doing all of that. It was great. New Day was fun to be with. I love those guys. And I love the new generation of WWE superstars.
Yeah, that's I enjoyed as well. We just put the message on screen. John enjoys the show, so everybody, this isn't also about us either. So as you guys continue to leave comments and questions, even if you're not watching it live, you can still interact with us, and maybe the next week we can answer your question or whatever the case may be. Let us know what you think of the segments, who you want on the show. You can let us know at Wrestling Audio. You can hashtag Table Talk. Unpopular Opinion will be back next week, and even though Devon's not quite sure how we're going to do it, Lindsay and I are on the same page. I did get the game most likely to. So we're going to get to know Devon very, very well here, I'm sure.
Oh, God.
So excited.
Most likely to be in the corner sucking his thumb, wishing for that to be over. Because I don't want any secrets coming out. Yeah, that would be.
Yep, that guy right there. Thanks for interacting with us. Thanks for watching Table Talk. And next week, trying Sarah again.
Yep, we're going to try Sarah again, and I believe we'll do it, and we'll go from there.
All right.